Radiant Dance Machines just recently got a complete rework, changing its exotic ability, in my opinion, for the better. This new change gave me a great new idea for a Void Hunter build that allows you to stay invisible infinitely. It combines our new and improved exotic and the newest addition to the Void subclass, the On the Prowl aspect. It allows for incredibly fast super gain, along with survivability that Omnioculus cannot rival. So, without further ado, let's get on with the video. This video starts off with our exotic armor piece of choice, which is, of course, Radiant Dance Machines. This exotic's new armor perk grants about a third of your class ability energy every time you get a single kill with your primary weapon with no cooldown. This means that every time you get 3 kills with your primary of choice, whether it be an SMG, bow, whichever, you will gain a class ability charge, which, as you know, can be very powerful on the Void subclass. I think you all know where I'm taking this. Moving on to our subclass, our first aspect will be Vanishing Step. Whenever we dodge, we will become invisible. It's as simple as that. And with as much class ability energy we gain from Radiant Dance Machines, this already essentially makes us invisible 100% of the time. So we're going invisible. Awesome. So what? If we want to do something like shoot, we'll have to exit it anyway. So what's the point? Well, this is where our next fragment, On the Prowl, comes in. This newest addition to the Void subclass does many things. Firstly, it'll mark a target on you and your allies' screens that, when you defeat, will grant you increased reload speed, stability, and ability energy for all 3 types. But most importantly, it'll also emit a weakening smoke cloud that'll make you and your allies invisible when you walk through it. This, of course, will proc another target to be marked, repeating the cycle. With this and Vanishing Step, you will have no problem becoming invisible, especially since you can step back into the cloud after exiting invisibility, as the cloud doesn't just disappear after you walk through. With our aspects out of the way, let's move on to abilities. Starting off with our super, we will take Shadow Shot Deadfall. This is an all-around great super for dealing with adds, both in easier and harder content. It makes every enemy in the radius weakened and suppressed, making them take more damage and not be able to attack back. Next, we will take Gambler's Dodge. With the Radiant Dance Machines, we will be able to throw our weakening melee basically within seconds with each other. Combined with On the Prowl, the ground will be covered in weakening clouds. For our grenade, it really is a choice of preference. I like the Vortex Grenade because I can use my super, throw the nade in, and every mob except for a boss will probably die. But others like the Suppressor Grenade to stun overloads or Magnetic Grenade for good single target damage are also great options. But with that out of the way, let's move on to our fragments. Starting off with Echo of Persistence, this will simply increase the duration of invisibility, Overshield, and Devour effects on us. This will come in handy as we will be having all of these effects at the same time. Up next, we will take Echo of Harvest. This will create an Orb of Power and Void Breach whenever we defeat a weakened target. And with all of our melees, and On the Prowl, we will be dropping orbs and breaches left and right. Let's put those to use by taking Echo of Starvation, which will grant Devour when picking up either Orbs of Power or Void Breaches. Devour will grant us most of our health back whenever we get a kill with it active, along with it refreshing the timer, making this an incredibly powerful tool that'll make us near unkillable. As if we weren't invincible enough, we'll take Echo of Vigilance next. This will grant us a 45 health overshield whenever we get a kill with our shields depleted, giving us a backup in case we drop below half. Finally, since this is a very aggressive build, we will take Echo of Reprisal, which will grant super energy when we defeat targets while surrounded. Being invisible all the time will allow us to be up close and personal, so this is perfect. If you're worried of messing up, or you're just the type of person to stay long range, then you can take Echo of Expulsion, which will make explosions on ability final blows. Moving out of the subclass screen, let's get into armor mods. Starting off with our helmet, we will take a copy of Harmonic Siphon to make rapid void final blows, create an Orb of Power, Dynamo to grant super energy when dodging near targets, and a heavy or special ammo finder. Next, on our arms, let's have Firepower to make grenade final blows drop Orbs of Power, along with Impact Induction to grant grenade energy when dealing melee damage, and since smoke bombs deal damage over time, our grenade energy will be filling up very quickly. On our chest piece, we will take Charged Up to increase the maximum amount of armor charges we can have, along with a pair of any resistances. Next up on our pants, we will take Recuperation and Orbs of Power to have a health boost and ability energy whenever we pick up an Orb of Power, along with a Void Surge to make our weapon of choice deal extra damage. Finally, on our cloak, we will take Reaper to make much more orbs of power since we will be dodging all the time, Bomber to give ourselves grenade energy when dodging, and Powerful Attraction to collect orbs at the same time. Before we continue on with this video, I would like to quickly say that there is a Mobalytics guide down in the description for you to copy everything I've just said and plop it onto your hunter. But with that out of the way, let's finally move on to our weapons of choice. You have multiple options. Right off the bat, your main weapon will have to be a primary and void. So no buried bloodline unfortunately, but what we do have are weapons like Le Monarch and Graviton Lance. And if you go the legendaries route, I would heavily recommend weapons with perks like Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. With our main weapon out of the way, our special weapon is next. I really like weapons like the Call, Riptide, Forbearance, or if you're using a legendary as your main weapon, Conditional Finality. In your heavy slot, you want a weapon that can do good DPS, preferably a weapon with bait and switch. Some good examples are Apex Predator, Edge Transit, Cataphract, Hothead, and others. But with that out of the way, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But I've said all there is to be said, so DestinyVerse out.